Old dog M&P. Howdy y'all and welcome back. So I've been through a lot with this gun. This was really my getting into modern semi-automatics gun. I actually had a couple before this, but this is the one that I started really tinkering with. And it's because I kind of had to. Well, didn't have to. So these guns, the early production run of the 1.0 as they're sort of known now, the early production runs had some issues. They had some sear flutter issues, and there was a pretty famous issue with barrel lockup and accuracy. They were not known as being super accurate guns. Very reliable for the most part, except for the sear flutter thing, and that was kind of hit and miss. But they built a good enough reputation that they sold well, and then went on, with the 2.0 to address a lot of the things that were wrong with the original iteration. But somewhere after this one, there were some pretty significant changes from the factory to this model that made them much better. And so let's take this over to the table and we'll look at a couple of the mods I've done, as well as some just straight up upgrades that are kind of obvious. Obviously, being the professional that I am, I took the time to clean this thoroughly before doing this video. So, no, I did not do that. So let's start from the back. So this gun is around 2010 production. I picked it up early 2011. And it had the original Sear block housing design. And what that was, it had a much smaller spring and plunger right there under the Sear. So that's your Sear. When that drops down right there, it releases the striker. And the early guns had a really wimpy little spring under there. And this block I picked up from Midway USA, and it's basically what, if you just order a 1.0 block, it's going to be this one. Smith doesn't make that early style one anymore with the little weak wimpy spring. But what it would cause sometimes in some guns was sear flutter, where it wouldn't catch after cycling. It wouldn't lock the striker back, getting it ready for the next round. So that guy, super cheap, like 30-40 bucks or whatever, pretty easy to change out. And then as well, when I added the Apex Tactical flat-faced trigger and forward set Sear kit, I started getting some intermittent issues with Sear timing, and that was fixed by adding, again, a later production 1.0 trigger bar. It has a slightly different shape on the shepherd's hook, which is that little loopy piece of the trigger bar, and that is what interfaces with the Sear, causing it to release the striker. And adding that has completely solved all of the timing issues, so yay for that. Pretty affordable upgrades. And then moving on to the slide itself, we've got the Apex grade, match grade barrel, very sexy crowned and stuff. Obviously it's filthy, but nonetheless, very cool piece. I did polish mine a little bit. The early ones of these came out a very matte finish, and so I took some time to polish it up a little bit and just shiny it. And a big step that these took was adding this little piece of lug right there to help with the lockup, the timing of the barrel release. And that was what was causing accuracy issues with the early production guns, is they would unlock a little too soon, allowing the barrel to just move just ever so slightly before the bullet actually came out of the barrel. So they tightened that up. You can go check all of this stuff out on Apex's website. They have videos that are probably getting kind of old now, but they do discuss all of this stuff. I am still running the original spring, which is pretty wild. It's got, I don't know how many thousands of rounds on it, but it's a bunch. I did more recently replace the striker, just a basic stock replacement. The original had worn down pretty good. And then you've got the Apex bits in the plunger there. And then obviously we've got the slide work, which is done by DP Custom Works. Where's their branding? Yeah, they put a little logo right there for me. And the lightning cuts do actually make a difference. It just takes a little bit of mass out of the slide, helps you keep the gun a little flatter. And then up top, we've got the Dawson Precision Chargers, which are one of my favorite aftermarket sights, with the blacked out rear and obviously the fiber optic front. They gave a very, very cool sight picture. So let's see if I can mate these up on camera without fumbling too much. All right, we got it back together. And the gun is unloaded, no magazine. So let's do a little trigger pull test here just to check it out. And we're braking at about 4.5 pounds. Let's do that one more again. This time I'm going to bring the gauge just a little bit lower, kind of more where my finger would actually sit. If I can keep it on there. And yep, right at 4. Which is nice and light, but still plenty safe. And looking at it with an actual finger on there, here we go. There's the brake, it's so good. And there's the reset and the brake. This trigger is really, really, really good. Still the best trigger I have ever felt on a polymer framed striker fired gun. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you have one of these old guns, don't be afraid to dig in and make some changes to it. They're great old guns, and rather than like trading it in or selling it cheap and taking a beating and then getting a brand new one, try to salvage your old dog and learn about it, and go on the Smith & Wesson forums online and just, keep searching for the questions you have, and the answers are probably on that Smith & Wesson forum somewhere. One modification I forgot to mention is the 2.0 backstrap. If you did nothing else to your original 1.0 M&P, if you did nothing else other than adding a 2.0 backstrap, you can pick them up on eBay. Game changer, like such a good upgrade, and they're like $10 or something. It's so worth doing. I mean, just huge. That was one area of these guns. Well, you can see I stippled a bit on the front strap here, but even without any other stippling or anything, if you just did the backstrap change, it would dramatically improve your shooting. I guarantee it. So, otherwise, I love the beaver tail. I hate that the newer guns don't have that. I just like the way that fits in the hand. And I don't know, there's just something cool about it. I like them. I like the 2.0s too, but I don't know, there's something about this one. I just felt like I would rather keep dumping money into it than do it the easy way and just go buy the new one. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters and everybody who kicks down. Y'all are keeping the dream alive. Thank you so much. Until next time, be easy, y'all.